I can't see a way through, and I can't be myself around you. I can't stop myself from thinking it's all over. Hey guys, my name is Max, and this is going to be a guitar tutorial for Eden's currently unreleased track, Hertz, off of his sophomore album, No Future. The other day, Eden played this track on a live stream, so what we have right now is just the guitar from him playing it acoustically. So I've learned it, and I'm gonna explain it the best I can. I'm not sure if everything I'm teaching you is gonna apply to the actual song when it comes out, so if you're watching this when the song's already released, if something seems a little different, that's because I'm just going off of the live stream and what Eden did on there. But most of it should be good and should apply, so don't worry. First things first, this song is in standard tuning, so it's gonna be your normal E, A, D, G, B, E. Now, there are going to be two main shapes that Eden uses throughout this entire song. So I'm going to label the first chord we learn as shape 1 and the second chord we learn as shape 2. And I'll still tell you which fingers go on which frets on what strings, but I will also say what shape, so you can always refer back to the shapes to make it a little bit easier. The first chord we're going to learn is a D, and that's going to be with only 4 strings. It's going to be the A, D, G, and B strings. So you're going to have your pointer on the A string on the 5th fret, which should sound like this. And then on the D string, you're going to have your middle finger on the 7th fret. Sorry, that's the D string. And then on the G string, you're going to have your ring finger on the 7th fret also. And then on the B string, you're going to have your pinky also on the 7th fret. So this is going to be shape 1. The chord overall should sound like this. Now the next thing is plucking. Eden throughout the song switches it up. Sometimes he'll pluck all 4 strings like this. And then sometimes he will do a little bit of a plucking pattern. Now I'll let you know if the chord we're playing is going to be plucked all at once, or if it's going to be using the plucking pattern. He uses the same plucking pattern throughout the whole song, so I'll just teach that to you right now, and then you could apply that if I say that the chord is plucked differently, rather than being plucked all at once. Now in verse 1, the plucking pattern he uses for some of the chords is going to be saying, if I were to say that the A string is 1, the D string is 2, G is 3, B is 4, you get it? It's going to be 1, 2, and then 3 and 4 at the same time, which will sound like this. He does that a few times in the live stream. I'll let you know when. But the first chord, he plucks all 4 strings when he says the word through. So, I can't see a way through. Apologies for my singing. I do not claim to be a singer, but I think it'll help the demonstration. Bear with me here, okay? The next chord is going to be an F sharp minor. It's going to be moving up the fretboard right on up here. It's going to be the same 4 strings, the A string, your pointer on the 9th fret, and then the D string, your ring finger is going to be on the 11th fret, and then your pinky is going to be on the G string, also on the 11th fret, and then your middle finger is going to be on the B string on the 10th fret. And that'll sound like this. That's your F sharp minor. For this chord, he uses that plucking pattern we learned. So he plays the first chord, plucks all 4 strings, and then he moves up to the F sharp minor and plucks, just like that. And this F sharp minor is going to be our shape 2, so remember that. The next chord is an A minor, and you're going to move on up the fretboard with the exact same shape until your pointer finger is on the 12th fret, and then you're going to take your ring and your pinky and move them both up 1 string. So now we're just using 3 strings. Technically, we're not even using our middle finger, but I find it easier to just leave it there. So now your pointer should be on the A string on the 12th fret, and then your pinky and your ring finger should both be on the 14th fret. Your ring on the G string, your pinky on the B string. So it should sound like this. This chord he plucks all together. And then for the 4th and final chord in verse 1 and in this chord progression, go back to shape 2. So put your ring and your pinky back up 1 string, and then slide up until your pointer is now on the 14th fret. That should sound like this. So that's your pointer finger on the 14th fret of the A string, your ring finger on the 16th fret of the D string, your pinky finger on the 16th fret of the G string, and your middle finger on the 15th fret of the B string. That chord is also plucked all at the same time. So the entire chord progression should sound something like this. And then he repeats. Except this time, he plucks all four at the same time when he goes up for every chord. The only variation in this is when he says, "whenever you need me," and he goes up to that F sharp minor, then he plucks again with that same pattern, that 1, 2, and then 3, 4 at the same time. So the entirety of verse 1 should sound like this. And if I get the lyrics incorrect, that's because these are all interpretations online right now, so they could be totally wrong. I can't see a way through, and I can't be myself around you. I can't stop myself from thinking it's all over, and you're gonna stop crying. After the end comes whatever, whenever you need me. The song's over. So for that the very last chord he does in all of verse 1, he actually takes the same shape from the A minor, the third chord we learned, and then he slides it down to where your pointer finger is now on the 9th fret. And that's how he ends verse 1. I might have screwed up the plucking a little bit in there. To be fair, you can pluck it however you want. I'm just trying to stay true to what Eden does in the live stream, but I might even mess it up a little bit. So apologies. If you want to go and watch the video, I guess I'll link it in the description, and you can follow what he does. That might help you a lot. So moving on into the interlude. For all of the interlude and all of verse 2, he uses that plucking pattern, except he adds a little bit to it. So it's going to be 1, 2, and then 3 and 4 together, and then I'm pretty sure he plucks 2 and then 1 again, so it should sound like this. And he just does that one time through, and then he switches chords. So the first chord in the interlude is going to be that D, that first chord we learned, and then we're going to move down, we're going to learn a new chord. It's going to be a B minor. So you're going to take shape 2, and you're going to move it down to where your pointer finger is on the 2nd fret. That's B minor. And he plucks that the same way. And then you move back up to F sharp minor, which we've already learned. Your pointer finger up here on the 9th fret. And then we have an E chord, which is the D chord, shape 1, except you move it up 2 frets. And then that repeats in an endless loop, going down, back to the B minor, back up to the F sharp minor, down to the E, down to the D. He just moves back through over and over and over and over. So now you know the entirety of the interlude in verse 2. So now I'm going to try to demonstrate it if I can. Again, I'm very, very sorry for how rough this might sound. But hopefully it helps you understand how it all works together. Touchdown. Giant leap. Heartbreak. Godspeed. Highlight. Headline. Edge of the world. Fading out. And I love how the sky burns. So good now we slip apart. All good now, I can't tell you and me apart. I just wanted to let you know that I burn when the sky hurts. Disintegrate and fall apart. Running out of time, you never be the lesson. Out of stress and all the rest of us. It's enough to move you. I'm just scared that you'll cut me off. Then he hangs on this D. Then he goes on into the chorus. So the next chord we're going to learn is an A. This is the first chord of the chorus. and we're gonna take shape 2, and we're gonna put with your pointer on the 5th fret, right where the D usually is, but then we're gonna move it all down 1 string. So now you're using the 4 strings being E, A, D, and G. B and E are not being touched. That should sound like this. And that's your A. Now this is gonna be plucked all together for the chorus. Then the next chord is a C sharp minor. You're gonna take those all up a string again, same shape, and then you're gonna move it back 1 fret. And that's gonna be, like I said, your C sharp minor. There's that. And then you go to a D. We already know the D. And then it repeats 1 more time. So the A. I'm just plucking it this way to demonstrate it. It's actually plucked all together. And then back up to the C sharp minor. And then back to the D. And then that's where he says going. But then he actually, on that word, slides it up. And then we play an E. And then we're up to an F sharp minor again. And then we go back down to the E. And then we go down to the A. And then the D. And then back up to the F sharp minor. And then back down to the E. And then to the D. And that's the entire chorus. I'm going to repeat that one more time. So we start on the A. And then we go up to the C sharp minor. And then the D. And that repeats. So back to the A. And then the C sharp minor. And then the D. And then we slide up to the E. And then F sharp minor. And then back down to the E. And then we're down to the A. And then we go back up to the D. And then we go back up to the F sharp minor. And then back down to the E. And down to the D. So that should sound like this. Still I loved every second of it. And I can't help the past to where I'm going. So just take the best. Sorry about that. So just take the best of all the pieces and the reasons you're gone. See, I see myself in all the people I let go. I let go. Whoa. He hangs on that D right before he goes on into the bridge. So the chord progression for the bridge is we start on a B, and these are plucked all together. And then we go up to a D. And then up to the F sharp minor. And then down to the E. That repeats twice, so that's going to sound like this. Oh, now keep on over those nights, white lights. Oh, now how many seconds till the roof falls in? So I still hurt. Last time enough forever breaks us up. And then he switches it up and goes, instead of back down to the B minor, down to a D. And then he goes, using those 4 chords, down and then back up. So then back down to the B minor, and then back up to the F sharp minor, back down to the E, D, B minor. Like it just keeps going up and down, and that's the chord progression for the rest of that verse. So I'm going to try to give you an example of that. Oh, now keep pouring over those nights, white lights. Oh, now how many seconds till the roof falls in? So I still hurt. Last time enough forever breaks us up, and connotations burn into my lexicon. If our feelings right till the past is one, my friends forgot, but I'm still holding on. Keep messing up, my lines get crossed, and you wanna die often, and you wanna hide all those tears from me. You wanna just let the change in times, it's not the same. I'm just scared that you Then he hangs on the D again before he goes on into the chorus. And I'm really sorry if I'm butchering the lyrics. I just learned this song. So the chorus repeats and that's the song. Still I loved every second of it, and I can't help the past or where I'm going. So just take the best of all the pieces and the reasons you're gone. See, I see myself in all the... Sorry. See, I see myself in all the people I let go. I let go. I let go. I let go. And that's a song. I did my best to make this make sense, and I mean, it's a lot for me as a beginner guitarist, like completely a beginner, to figure all this out and try to be accurate and try to explain it in a coherent way. So I hope it all made sense, and I hope this helped. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have any questions, ask away in the comments. I'll do my best to answer, and I'll see you guys in the next one.